Shabbat Shalom. Glory and honor to the Father, Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is. Glory and honor to Messiah, YHWH, the high priest of Israel. Glory and honor to their name. Greetings to the 12 tribes of the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are now awakening to the bloodline of who they are and returning to YHWH and Yahweh. Greetings. Greetings also to the precious souls who are grafted into the olive tree of Israel, who have become one through the righteousness of the Father in Messiah by Israel. Greetings. Greetings to the chat, Brother David, Harriet, and Sister Josie, Brother Superstar, Only One Way. Greetings to you all. As we are continuing our study, Brother Stephen Kelly, Castle King, Gary Joseph, Brother Lonnie, Sister Jillian, Brother Strick. Greetings to all of you as we are continuing our study in the Gospel of John. You know, this morning my wife and I were talking, as we normally do, and she was like, well, maybe you could do a Bible study that includes all the prophetic books. And so I said to her, every Bible study we do includes all the prophetic books. And I referenced last night's study, and I said, did you listen to last night's study? She said, yes. So, well, okay, so we went into Isaiah, didn't we? Yes. Zephaniah, right? Zechariah, yes. Revelation, yes. Okay, I think we're covering prophetic books on every study, are we not? If we were to study Daniel, and we have, don't we go through all the prophecies when we study Daniel? When we study Revelation, don't we go through all the prophecies? When we study Revelation, I think Revelation, we touch more prophecy than any other study because all of the prophets point to Revelation. So everything that we study, we're always looking because we are in the area of time where all prophecies are being fulfilled. Okay, we're in the area of the time frame of the history of sin on the planet where all prophecies are being fulfilled. And the thing is, again, the cause is the cause of righteousness for the Father against the enemies of righteousness against the Father. Okay, that's the cause. And so, brethren, we're in the end of the war that the Bible talks about. Matter of fact, let's look at when it talks about that. This is Daniel chapter 11. Daniel chapter 11. Daniel chapter 11, beginning at verse. Okay, I'm going to begin at verse 32 and read down to verse 36. This is Daniel chapter 11 from verse 32 to verse 36. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame and by captivity and by spoil many days. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries. Some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper to the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. So there is a well, it didn't use the word war here. Let me get to one that uses the word war, which is the same Daniel chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9, and let's look at Daniel chapter 9, verse 26. Verse 26 and 27. Daniel 9, verse 26 and 27. And after 80, and though that last scripture was very relevant to what we're talking about. Okay, that's not the one I was looking for, but that was relevant. Take note of that one. But this one here, Daniel chapter 9, verse 26 and 27. After 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end thereof shall be with a flood. Unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause sacrifice and oblation to cease. For the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Let me also say this, brethren. As we are awakening to who we are, I just want to also ask y'all it's kind of a redundant question, but I just want to bring us to where we're going with it. So since you've been reading, I was talking to Brother Castle King the other day, and he expressed to me that he had finished the 5th reading of the scriptures, and we praise the Most High. He's beginning his 6th reading of the scriptures. But let me ask you all a question. Since you have awakened to who you are, which is in a sense a real born again experience, right? Since you have awakened, or should I say been awakened, since the Most High awakens us, since we have been awakened to who we are, and we have been studying the scriptures, have you seen the scriptures on a much deeper level than you had previously seen it before you were awakened? Has your awakening caused you to see the scriptures in a different and more forceful light? Right. And this is the thing. The more deeper we get into it, that is the scriptures and the truth of the scriptures, the more we'll be at odds with those that are in ignorance, willful ignorance particularly. What I'm particularly saying is you're going to be at odds with most Europeans, especially, and of course, the defenders of white Jesus, which are people that look like us. You're going to be more opposite of them. Now, we know from our own experience that from among the Europeans, the Most High is going to... Brother... No me eche en la boca. Is that the Dominican way of saying it? Praise the Most High. So anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, what I will say is, as you continue to grow in the truth of the scriptures, and there's going to be obviously a remnant of Europeans, and we're already seeing that are awakening and not denying the faith, not denying the truth, but there's going to be more that deny it. For example, the other day, somebody did a video, said, I don't understand. What is American culture? Okay. So then I answered her. And somebody said, well, she didn't ask about white culture. She asked about American culture. Now, how stupid is that? I said, how stupid? I said, wait a minute. Are you meaning to tell me that American culture is not white culture? And then I said, please stop letting your willful ignorance be made manifest. And of course, she has, this is what I'm finding, especially among the heathen, the women must have the last word. They'll keep going until they get the last word, even if they're wrong. So she responded, you first, and I left it at that. Brethren, let me explain to you. When you drop a seed of truth, let it just drop that right there, because that's more powerful than any willful ignorance, any lie that they can bring up, and they're going to bring them all up. Okay. You don't need to answer every response. Okay. I'm trying, especially you hear what I'm saying. You don't need to answer every response. You have the truth, brethren. Truth is more powerful than any lie. They have lies. You have the truth. Once you drop truth seed, leave it. Because if they're supposed to receive it, they will. If they're not, nothing you're going to say, you're going to make them receive it. You hear what I'm saying? So the more we grow in this word, the more clearer we're going to see truth. And the more clearer we're going to see truth, the more our enemies are going to cling to lies. But we don't need to answer that. We must trust that the truth of the Heavenly Father is heavier. He said in his word that his word is like a hammer. In other words, it's heavy It's powerful. It gets down into the joint, and it's not for everybody. It's only for the ones that want to stop lying. It's only for the people that want to stop lying. Because in the kingdom, there's going to be no liars. And people that are trying to be willfully ignorant of the truth are liars, trying to cloak it. As we saw, Messiah said, now that he has come, there's no cloak for sin. The Most High winks when you're honestly ignorant. But when he gives you truth, he ain't winking no more. Okay? So the chick come out with some, well, you first, and I just left it right there. I said, I don't need to answer that. Okay? I don't need to answer that. Leave that right there. Same thing with this other fool on X, come up with some stupidness about George Washington. I said, man, flock that rapist trick. And he said, wasn't for him, you'd be still picking cotton. And I told him, the fact that we're not picking cotton is the sign of your soon destruction. Okay? The fact that we're not picking cotton anymore, that we rose up from that, that's the sign of your destruction is coming. And that's the truth, y'all. See? Again, he started answering some stuff, and I left it alone. All I got to do is drop that. See? When you drop the hammer, brethren, the hammer dropped. You hear what I'm saying? Once you drop the hammer is dropped. The hammer is dropped. You can leave that alone. Okay? Let the word of the Father do its work. Praise the Most High. So, though, as the Messiah getting ready to show us, maybe not in this study, but in some study in chapter 18, since we're in chapter 18, those that are of the truth will hear his voice. Now, we're talking today about drinking the cup. Drinking the cup. Question. Who did the Messiah drink the cup for? Who is the object of the Messiah drinking the cup? He's going to talk about drinking the cup the Father gave him. Who's the object? That's right. The object is Israel. Now, we're going to get witnesses for that because our heathen friends ain't going to believe that. He ain't not died for no heathen. Somebody said, well, Gentiles are going to be saved. Yup. But you better come correct, which means you better connect yourself with the olive tree. Right? And Brother Superstar, could you please inform them who's the olive tree that they need to connect themselves with if they want to be beneficiaries of the salvation offered through the Hebrew Messiah? Who, brother Superstar, who's the that's right. You better connect yourself with Israel. Otherwise, you ain't getting no salvation. And why? Before we go into it, let me say one more thing from the scriptures. Did not our Father deliver our family from the land of Ham? In fact, doesn't Amos say that? Hosea, Joel, Amos, right? Amos says, Amos chapter 3, verse 1, 2, and 3 says that, right? Let me just make sure we got that straight. We don't need three witnesses on that because we got that all over the word. But it said, hear this word that Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up out from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities. So he said he brought our family up, because that's our family. Ain't no Europeans with little curls down the side of their head, little black beanies on from Europe. They ain't come from no Africa. They wasn't delivered from no Africa. Yeah, doesn't that sound silly? Ain't no Cohen and Weinstein and Feinstein delivered from no daggone Africa. We was. So our family came up out of Africa, right? Well, let me ask you. Did he deliver our family out of Mizraim to save Mizraim? Did he deliver our family out of Africa to save Africa? Well, why? So the object of the deliverance wasn't Mizraim. It wasn't Egyptians. The object, now, some Egyptians got blessed, came with us, but that wasn't the object. So in other words, he didn't go down to Egypt to deliver Egyptians. Oh, right. Messiah didn't come to the earth to deliver Romans or Greeks. or Chinese. Messiah came to earth for, let's take a look. Let's get some witnesses. We got to get witnesses here, brethren, because this is the thing. Why is this important? I know there's heathen that are so used to cognitive dissonance, poor souls, that why is he bringing up color again? Let me explain to you. Because if you don't understand the object of the affections of the Father, then you ain't understanding anything. If you don't understand the point, which you don't get, you're not going to get anything. Isaiah chapter 53. Isaiah chapter 53, talking about Messiah. Or Isaiah 53. Let's begin at verse 4. Isaiah 53, verse 4. How far down do I want to go? Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Isaiah chapter 53 from verse 4 to verse 8. Isaiah 53, verse 4 and verse 8. Watch this. Read it carefully, my brothers and sisters, and you heathen that claim to want truth. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Yahweh, and afflicted. Wait. When he says, Isaiah is writing this. Isaiah, Yeshaya. Who is our? He said, surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Who is our? Is that the Europeans from? So superstar. He's talking to Israel here. Oh, he's talking to the Hebrews. So he said he has borne the Hebrews' grief and carried the Hebrews' sorrows. Right? Am I making that up, or is that's what he's saying? Right? Okay. Wait a minute. So the object of this suffering, of him drinking this cup, is to save Israel first. See, we got to understand that. Because if you are against the true Israelites, you do not have the Father. He that is against Israel is against the Father. He told Abraham, I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curses you. He also told the same thing to Balaam, in the Moabite king too. He said, he will bless them that blesses Israel, curse them that curses Israel. He said that in Numbers chapter 24, okay, as well as Genesis chapter 11. So the object is not to save heathen, although they can be saved. The object is Israel. And if the heathen have fought with Israel, with them damn Confederate flags and them damn Trump signs and MAGA, if you trying to fight against Israel, you are done. You got no shot, and ain't no white Jesus could save you. And we're in the time of, what you say, Brother Lonnie? Brother 45 say, you in the time of truth, straight truth with no chaser. That's where you at. Straight truth with no chaser. That's where you at. This ain't no time to be playing around. You can play around if you want to, but if you're paying attention, things are getting heated up. Right? All right, wait a minute. Verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we, that is Israel, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and Yahweh hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? He was cut off out of the land of the living for the transgressions of my people. Isaiah, Yeshaya writes, for the transgressions of my people was he smitten. So we got one witness here that's saying he was bruised, afflicted for the transgression of the nation of Israel, the bloodline. We got one witness that says that, right? We got one witness that said it's for my people, correct? Okay. Wait a minute. Exactly, man. We can't be worried about your feelings right now. This ain't the time for that. When you standing in judgment before the Father and the Messiah, ain't nobody gonna be caring about your feelings. You better you better come correct. That's what you gotta come. You gotta come correct, or it's not gonna be what we used to say in New York. Everything ain't copacetic. Hebrews chapter 1. Hebrews chapter 1. Now, the book is called Hebrews, right? Hebrews chapter 1. The book is called Hebrews. We just read Isaiah, right? So this book is called Hebrews. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1, verse 1 and 2, Hebrews. Yahweh, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. What fathers and what prophets? Yahweh, who in time past and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. The Theophilos, I'm going to warn you right now. Keep that Dead Sea Scroll toilet paper talk out this room. I'm going to just tell you straight up right now. See, we in the Truth No Chaser. If you ain't reading from the 66 books of King James authorized version, you ain't reading nothing. We don't want to hear nothing about no toilet paper called Dead Sea Scrolls. I hope you got that. Let's continue. What fathers by what prophets? What fathers by what prophets, brethren? What fathers by what prophets, brethren? What fathers, what prophets, brethren? Testing. Y'all hear me? Testing. What fathers? The Hebrew prophets and Hebrew fathers. Okay, wait a minute. Verse 2. Hath in these last days spoken unto us, by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world. Verse 3. Thank you, superstar. Who being the brightness of his glory, the express image of his person, upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins. Who's our? Our who? He spoke to the prophets and the fathers in time past and purged our sins. This book is called Hebrews. When he's talking about he's talking about Hebrews. Hebrew Israelites by blood, which we are. Hebrew Israelites by blood, which we are. Okay? I'm trying to warn you, Philos. Take your philosophy and shove it up your behind. I'm not even playing with you today. We're just not having it, sir. So I'm just trying to help you before you get booted out of here permanently. You want to stay or don't you? If you want to stay, keep your damn mouth shut and listen. I don't want to hear you. Do you understand? I want to make it. Wait. Before we continue, Akawan Banya, before we take action on this fool, please explain to him, please. Oh, I hear you. Very, very stubborn things. And so are lost souls. Bye. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. And his name Theophilos. What the? Come on, bro. We ain't into that. I'm trying to tell you what we about up in here. You hear what I'm saying, brethren? We're trying to tell you what we about up in here. If you're not into it, go somewhere else. Well, what part of that is hard to understand, brethren? What part of that is hard to understand? If you're not agreeing with us, I have no problem. Leave. You hear me? I'm just not into it today. I'm just not into having the hot piles of cow dung today. I'm just not into it with your philosophy. Facts are stubborn things. They are. So are you. And guess what you also are? Out. Trying to tell the fool, and he just wasn't having it. All right. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right. So wait a minute. Crazy. So where did we go? We went to Isaiah, and of course we went to Hebrews. One more. We got to go to the definition of the gospel, of course, because that also tells us that is Apostle Paul. Now, some might say we just read from the Apostle Paul in Hebrews. Well, that might be, but we have no firm proof about that since the brother never put his name to it. But let's see here in Epistle of the Romans, chapter 1, verses 15, 16, and 17. This is Romans chapter 1. Yeah, exactly, Brother Lonnie. We was trying to tell him, just come in here and shut up. You're going to come in here and spout your mess. You need to go to your own room, right? Don't come in. And I tried to warn him. Take that Dead Sea Scroll, salt, pepper, and toilet paper and go somewhere with it. I tried to tell him. Okay. Romans chapter 1, verse 15, 16, and 17. So much as is in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Messiah. For it is the power of YHWH unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. To the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of YHWH revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. See, praise the Most High. And let me also, that fool that was just here, let me explain the problem. They will slip in here like Judas. They slip into all your meetings, and they'll act like they're really with you in order to get you to trust them. Then they'll bring false doctrine to you and claim that garbage like the Dead Sea Scrolls is just more powerful than the Bible. And they always do it under the guise of, I don't know why you hate me so. Always trying to act like they're innocent. The devil always does that. Like he came to Eve, right? He said, did not the Father say you could eat of every tree of the garden? See? So he's coming to have a conversation that will bring you down. And we don't play. See, we're going to get infiltrated. People going to try it. But see, while we in here in this forum right here, we not having it. This is the forum where we're trying to teach people to study the scripture and go to the Father. Not the Dead Sea Scrolls, not the book of Enoch, not the book of Jubilees, not any of them, not Jasher. Okay? And I think, brethren, we could, those of you that have been in this ministry, in this room, watching this for a minute, right? Have we ever had to leave the pages of KJV to get truth? Have we ever had to leave the pages of KJV to come with current Bible prophetic utterance? Have we ever needed to do that? Have we ever needed Dead Sea Scrolls to find out the truth? Have we always had 2 or 3 witnesses from this very book? That really is proof that you don't need anything else. You hear what I'm saying? You don't need anything else. See? All these other stuff is just traps of the devil to try to get you off the scriptures. The devil is desperate to get the Hebrews especially off the scriptures. And why? As we're already illustrating here, salvation is to the Jew first. Why? Because the Father has chosen Israel as his chosen people. He has chosen Israel as his chosen people. Above all people, the Bible tells us that, I didn't say it, above all people of the earth. He has not given his word. He has not given his statutes and judgments to any other people. The Bible says that. Let me go over it again, or y'all got it? Y'all know, Psalm 147. We just read Amos chapter 3, right? Moses told us in chapter 9 of Deuteronomy. We got all kind of witnesses. Of course, well, we also got Jeremiah chapter 30, right? Ezekiel chapter 36, 37, 34, 35, 36, 37. All of that and more to show us he's only chosen us. Now, it's important to the devil to throw you off, brethren. He wants desperately to get your mind off something, and he comes just like he come with Eve, subtly. Almost innocently. Oh, I didn't know. Oh my God, I didn't know. I was just trying to. You hearing what I'm saying? No. When you into straight truth, no chaser, watered down stuff ain't gonna work. Even the attitude of fake innocence, and this is what our enemies do. I never owned slaves. I don't understand why you're so angry. I never owned any slaves. While they sitting in a system built on the backs of our fathers and exploitation of us, getting every advantage that they didn't have to work for. I didn't own any slaves. See what I'm saying? That fake innocence, that fake ignorance, it ain't gonna fly. Not when we into truth, it ain't gonna fly. Okay, it ain't gonna. Okay, that dog ain't gonna run. It ain't. Okay, so come correct. And this is what I like about Brother YHWH. I mentioned him because to me, there's two groups of Caucasians on the earth that come straight at you. Australians and Irish. They ain't gonna, they don't mess with. You can play around if you want to. They will jump in your face and tell you straight, men and women tell you straight how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I appreciate about brethren like that. It ain't no cognitive dissonance. You got a problem, you can handle it. That's what they. Brother YHWH, which y'all gonna meet in Labor Day and Memorial Day weekend, he ain't playing that. See, and that's what makes him our brother. See, and this is what they don't understand. And backpedaling off their own true history, they're not our brothers and sisters. We are not backpedaling off our true history. We know why we was in chains. We understand why we didn't come here seeking a new life from the old world. We were snatched here. We understand that Plymouth Rock landed on us, and we understand why. And we also understand that our enemies are going to get double what they put on us, because we are the chosen people. And we are not apologizing for that because you don't feel comfortable with it. See? Okay. As that fool said, facts are stubborn things. Get some. Now, we got three witnesses, Isaiah, Hebrews, and Romans, that tell us who we really are. Okay. Yes, exactly, brother. Exactly. So we got three witnesses, and I could get more from Ezekiel, Jeremiah, obviously, Zechariah, obviously, the apple of the eye, right? We can get a lot more. But Messiah was drinking the cup for us. Now, because we rejected Messiah, we got to drink the cup. See, so when Daniel chapter 9 talks about 70 weeks are determined upon thy people, what was going to happen at the end of the 70 weeks was we were going to catch that cup. That was the thing, see? So in other words, all of the transgressions and apostasies previously, the Most High punished our fathers. We was in Egypt getting punished, got out of Egypt. We was in the wilderness getting spanked, got to the promised land. We was in the promised land getting spanked all the time because we disobeyed the express commands of the Creator. He stayed with us because of the promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he will stay with us forever because it's an it's everlasting covenant. It's not like a temporary covenant. So when he says in Daniel chapter 9, verse 24, Daniel chapter 9, verse 24. This is Gabriel explaining the vision of the 2300 days that was given to Daniel previously. He says it right here. In fact, let's look at verse 23. Let me start verse 22. Verse 22, 23, and 24. I'm sorry. Let me start at verse 21. Sorry. Verse 21 down to 24. I want to get a little context here. Daniel chapter 9, 21 to 24. Yea, whilst I was speaking in prayer, this is Daniel talking, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, that was Daniel chapter 8, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. This is regarding the vision he just referenced in chapter 8 that was not explained to him in chapter 8. Okay, verse 23. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth. I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. The matter. What is the issue? Understand the issue and consider the vision that you saw. Okay. What? 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Now, what is all that? First of all, as you can see, it's a warning. It's a warning given in the prophetic utterance. What's the warning? You got 70 weeks to get your act together, you and your family, to finish. And look what he said, to make an end of sins, to finish transgression, to make reconciliation for iniquity. Let me please interject something here. Through the Messiah, this comes to pass. But before Messiah, and because they didn't receive our father's Messiah, this did not come to pass. In fact, the worst came, right? Verse 23, know therefore and understand that, 25, sorry. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The street shall be built again and the wall, even in troubled times. Now, to anoint the most holy. That is for the Messiah, first of all, to be baptized and anointed, which he was, right? And for us to bless his name. That means we receive the Father in Messiah. Does that make sense, y'all? So we receive this man as the Messiah and we bless his name, which we did not do. So he drank the cup. And because he drank the cup, wait a minute, because the Messiah drank the cup, we are guaranteed victory because he drank the cup for us. But before that victory is officially here, we, because of our transgressions, we must drink the cup. So all of the time that has passed from the Messiah drinking this cup to today, we have been drinking the cup. Y'all catching me? We've been drinking the cup. So as now the effect of the spanking is made manifest in our awakening, the cup is now being transferred to our enemies, which is what the Father said in Isaiah 51, among other places, but Isaiah chapter 51. Again, if you ask me, I'll give you 3 witnesses, but for our sake of time, I'm going to just give you Isaiah 51 right here. Notice what it says. Verse 21, 22, and 23, Isaiah 51. Verse 21, 22, and 23, Isaiah 51. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. That's us. Thus saith Yahweh, the Most High, that Most High, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and to the street to them that went over. So the people that brought us here in chains, it's their turn. And what's the sign that it's their turn? Our awakening of our turn. Let me say it again. What's the sign of their turn? Our awakening of our turn. That's simple. We have been drinking the cup. It's not hard to see. We've been drinking the cup. We use the United States. It's just a 400-year history in the United States. We've been drinking this cup since AD 70, right? He said, the prince that shall come shall destroy the city. That was Titus and them from the Romans. We've been drinking this cup for a minute. But just take the United States session, the iteration that's here. Since they brought us here in chains, we've been drinking the cup here. So everything they did to us, they're about to receive. And our awakening of why we were brought here and the reason we had to drink such a bitter cup, which we drank here. There's no people ever been on the land that is called the United States of America that has drank the cup that the Hebrews have drank. That's facts. Nobody has drank the cup that the Hebrews have drank. Oh, yes, people have come from Europe and they've had to fight and scrape, but they fought and scraped on streets that we made for free. They went on tracks that we laid for free, okay? So that awakening as to what our role is in this drink that we took, this dregs of this cup of the fury of the Father, our awakening says, oh, we had to drink this cup. Guess what? It's your turn now. Which is what I told that fool on X. The fact that we no longer pick cotton, that's the sign of your destruction. Very simple. See? I know like SDA church is looking for a national Sunday law. Poor fools. Ain't gonna be no national Sunday law. Nowhere in the King James Bible does it ever indicate that the Sabbath is the sign of the mark of the beast. Nowhere in the Bible. Nowhere. Zero. No place. Tell me if you read it. I ain't. What I did read, though, is that there was an idol worshiping image that Nebuchadnezzar made and that the Hebrews refused to bow down to the idol because it wasn't the Most High. And the commandment says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That I did see. I did see where Moses told us continually, if you worship other gods, I'm going to scatter you. Ezekiel said the same thing. Isaiah said the same thing. Jeremiah said the same thing. None of them ever said, if you don't keep the Sabbath, you're going to get scattered. No, they said, if you worship other gods, I'm going to leave you. So the sign is not the Sabbath, as the SDAs are trying to assert. There is none. That's an Ellen White lie. That's more than a white lie. It's a big lie. But truth is, we don't worship man-made religion. The Creator is not a religion. He's our God, who we worship. He's not a religion. He's a living, breathing power. And Messiah is a living, breathing Messiah that come from the bloodline, the same bloodline as us, which makes him, as we know, brethren, our cousin. Okay, our cousin. So listen, they can receive that or not. That's their business. But we're trying to help them. Just like that fool that was just here. We was trying to help him, trying to tell him, yo, just shut up and listen, man. And we don't hear about no Dead Sea Scrolls. And he's coming with this. He's trying to be all philosophical. See, we not into philosophy. Understand, all man-made religion is a philosophy. A philosophy is something that is it may be true, it may not be true. It's my idea. That's what a philosophy is. That's from man. We don't concern ourselves with philosophies of man. We are only concerned with the one that made the sky. He made the expanse. He made the sun. And he hides. He said, I dwell in thick darkness. Do you know why he dwells in darkness? Because if he was to let light go for us, see, we can't look at the sun with our bare eyes without going blind, right? You risk losing your eyesight if you look at the sun. You risk losing your eyesight. If you stare at the sun, you got to be a fool because your eyes you could go blind. If you just look at it for even less than a minute and you take your eyes off and you can see, you got to wait till blackness get away from your eyes, right? The Father is multiple times the Son. Not only will he blind you, he is perfect righteousness. If he was to remove the darkness and let you see him as he is, you would die immediately. Forget going blind. You wouldn't even exist anymore. That's our God. That's our God. He gave us the sign of how powerful he is by the Son. It's just a sign. He said, David said, the heavens declare the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And he said, in them he has set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices. He said, the sun rejoices as a strong man to run a race. And that's just a little tip of the Creator. So no, we don't worship no man-made religion. We got nature is our sanctuary. Our body is the church. The Spirit of the Father is the teacher. You got me? See? So all this philosophy of man, you see how worthless, how watered down, how vain it is. Like, we don't even need that. We don't need that. Like, please take that somewhere else. If you got to go, go have a discussion where y'all just blowing the crap. You know what I'm saying? We used to call it shooting, or you know what? Go shoot it somewhere else. We don't need that here. We in straight truth, no chaser. We trying to get meat. You want to drink milk? Go drink the milk. Spoiled as it is, we want straight steak. We want ribeye. Well done. We want ribeye well done. You could go ahead and have the spoiled milk. See, we don't need that. We done drank the cup. See, brethren, we ain't got time for that. We done drank the cup. We done drank the cup. And look, not just us, but our relatives. You have family. Look, you Hebrews that are in here, talk to me, y'all. You got family that drank the cup? You got family that drank the cup. Many of our family didn't survive the cup. My father had 7 brothers and sisters. He died 2 years ago, this coming April. My Aunt Weenie is still alive. She's the only one of the 7. Of only them 2 would die natural deaths. Everybody else, AIDS, jail, guns, knives, alcohol, anger, rage, fury. All my other relatives drank the cup. My father drank it too. So did my Aunt Weenie, but they survived. Most High kept them, praise the Most High. But we understand, see, we can bear witness of the cup. We're not talking, that's what I'm saying, we're not talking no philosophy. That's demeaning. That's beneath us. How you going to talk philosophy to people that got PhD in drinking fury? You hear what I'm saying? How you going to talk philosophy to people that got PhDs in drinking fury? And if you want to deny we drank it, we ain't got no words for you. We ain't got no time for you. Go. Our God is the Creator, and He chose us. See that, Stephen Kelly? See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. See, we drank the cup. We drank the cup. We know what it's like. And we can feel the rage and fury of our ancestors. See, some people don't understand what they feel, and they think the ancestors are talking to them. No, the ancestors ain't talking to them. That rage and fury has passed down through centuries to us. That's why you're feeling it. And guess what? Our enemies know that. They don't want to face it, though. But like I said, that's their problem. We're trying to help them. See, we're trying to help them. There's a movie, I think it was called The Equalizer. One of my favorite Denzel movies is The Equalizer. And in The Equalizer, the Russians coming after Denzel. So they bring a special dude over, this big thick-necked dude. And he's sitting having dinner with his Russian boss. And he tells the boss, my men will find him, talking about Denzel. We're going to find him. So he said, I have to go to the bathroom. So he gets up to go to the bathroom. He had these dark shades on his neck, looked like it's like 25 inches. He like this. And And so he goes to go to the bathroom. And Denzel comes back with homie's glasses with his blood on them, puts them on the table. Said he ain't coming back. The dude said, "You got my attention." He said, "What do you want?" He said, "I'm gonna give you one chance." He said, "Call your boss and shut down your operation tonight." And he said, "That's not much of an offer." And Denzel said, "That's the only one you're gonna get." That's what we're saying now. Shut down your operation tonight. Stop lying now. That's not much of an offer. That's all you're gonna get. We're not softening the straight truth for y'all. You see, and I've had Caucasians come to me. You, what you're saying is true, but you're saying it too hard. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get it soft. You're not gonna catch it soft. You say it's too hard. That's all you're gonna get. You know why? You talking to people that got PhD in Fury Cup and drinking dregs. PhD in drinking the wine of fury. We got PhD. We done earned our advanced knowledge and degree. We earned that. We come by it honestly. So we ain't got time for half stepping. You want a half step? Make your way somewhere else. See, brethren, this is different from Christianity. Christianity took the verse that said, "Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel," to mean that we must have everybody, we must accept everybody. That's not what the Messiah was trying to tell them to do. He said, "He that receiveth is going to be blessed. He that does not is going to be damned." That's what you're getting. You see? So that's what we're doing. So now Messiah drank the cup of fury for us. We refused the Messiah. So that cup came to us. Of the prince of the Romans brought that to us. And since the Romans destroyed the city, ain't been nothing there since. Nothing's there. Somebody said, "Well, there's people that live there." Ain't nobody there that the Creator acknowledges. That's what I'm talking about. He only acknowledges that land for those he chose that land for. Everybody else is just tap dancing on some land don't belong to them until they get swept off it. That's the truth. Everybody else just tap dancing on some land that ain't theirs until they get swept off it. And they're going to get swept off it. That land is ours. And we don't have to worry about it. The Messiah said plainly, the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. They can't, there's nothing they could do. When the Father sent Messiah to take care of this business getting done. We know that. We're trying to help them, but it ain't for all of them. It's only for the remnant of them that come forth from among Babylon. Praise the Most High. Okay. Gospel of John, chapter 18. Gospel of John, chapter 18. The arrest of the Messiah. Messiah is arrested. And in the account of the arrest, we can see the power of the Father shining forth from the Messiah and how they came at him. We could also see his boldness and how he stood firm, ready to drink. This is Gospel of John, chapter 18, beginning at verse 1, going down to verse 7. Gospel of John, chapter 18, beginning at verse 1, going down to verse 7. And when YHWH had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Cedron, where there was a garden, into the which he entered and his disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for YHWH oftentimes resorted thither with his disciples. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons. Now, it wasn't the Romans that first grabbed hold of Messiah. It was the religious leaders. In fact, many want to deny this, but the truth is, it was people that looked like us that came with weapons to get their own Messiah. It was people that looked like us that came to arrest their own Messiah. And the sign is Joseph, who sold Joseph into Egypt. Was Joseph kidnapped by the Ishmaelites? Was Joseph stolen by Egyptians? No, his brothers sold him to Egypt. Well, his brothers sold him to Ishmael. Ishmaelites sold him to Egypt. Okay? So, brothers and sisters, let us always remember Judas always looks like us, and our greatest opposition is going to come from us. See, that's why I'm not concerned with heathen that are living a lie. I'm disappointed in people that look like me that are living a lie. Heathen, okay, ain't nothing there. I mean, but the brethren that should know better. So it was religious people of a man-made religion called Judaism that arrested Messiah, that looks like us. Okay? Now, these Europeans that are now practicing Judaism, they got it from our people. There's nothing that the heathen have that they didn't first steal. I mean, nothing. There's nothing, there's no land, there's no idea that they didn't first steal. Nothing. I was once looking at possibility of studying PhD in mathematics, and they wanted you to be able to, some schools that were offering PhDs wanted you to learn how to speak in German because they credited Germans with the most math knowledge. Which I even then I was like, wait, what? They wanted you to do your recitation in German. American universities. Why? Because they credit Germany, Germanic tribes, with understanding mathematics. Now, very simple cursory glance will understand that Germanic tribes got it from the Greeks. The Greeks got it from Egypt. The original mathematicians were African. They discovered it. Then they took it to Greece with their philosophies and made it into Greek philosophy. And then the Germanic tribes took it and now it became theirs. But that's the way things work here. There is nothing they have, nothing they claim to have, zero that they claim to have created or to have invented that did not come from a Hebrew. Nothing. It's not hard. You don't even have to look hard. It's not even. Just understand that. They don't have that. The Most High has given it to us. We are the ones that have been given the blessing of creativity. And every time, no matter what they do to us, it's revealed. The creativity comes out. Because we're chosen, brethren. We're chosen. Okay? So they're trying their best to suppress what they can't suppress. And now that we're awakened, it's over. It's over. Okay? So here, they came to arrest the Messiah. Verse 4. YHWH, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, whom seek ye? Notice, he didn't run. No, because it was time. And he knew it was time. He didn't run like he had done previously, run past him. He could have, but no, he didn't. He came, he said, who are you looking for? They answered him, YHWH of Nazareth. YHWH said unto them, I am he. Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. And as soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backwards and fell to the ground. So now you can see the power that flashed from him. He could have walked away, but he stood because it was time to drink. And he knew that for us, he said, I'm going to drink this cup on the glory of my Father for my brothers. I could walk away from y'all. I'm giving you myself. I'm giving myself to y'all. And he's letting them know, I don't need to do this. And they saw that. So then he asked them again. Verse 7, whom seek ye? They said, YHWH of Nazareth. Yeah. Verse 8, YHWH answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. Verse 9, that the saying might be fulfilled which he spake, of them which thou gavest me, I have lost none. See? He gave himself. They didn't take it. He gave it to them. And he took it back. See? He was put to death and he took it back. The Father said, you're not going to stay in that grave long enough to rot. 3.5 days, you coming out. And that's the Bible say, Psalm 16, thou will not suffer thy Holy One to see corruption fulfilled. Praise the Most High. See, so no, he gave himself. He knew what they was there for. Brethren, look, it's going to be time coming. And the spiritual battle between light and darkness is going to reach its height. We're all going to feel it, okay? Both sides of the equation is going to feel it. But only we are going to understand exactly what's going on. Just like here. The disciples didn't know exactly what was going on. Messiah, even though he told them, they still didn't understand because the influence of the brainwashing of man-made religion made them blind to what he was trying to tell them. But he knew exactly what was going on, and he was braced for it. He prayed for it. He was born for it. He was brought into existence for it, and he knew that. Verse 10. Then Shimon Peter, or Shimon Kapha, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Verse 11. Then said YHWH unto Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? See, they didn't understand. You and I are living at a time where we have been given an understanding that the prophets even couldn't. Though they were shown it, didn't understand it. And let me tell you, there is no heathen apart from us that understands what's getting ready to happen and understands what it means. There's no heathen. It's not been given to them. Remember, to show unto his servants things that must shortly come to pass. I know people don't want to hear that, but I ain't here for all people. I'm only here for truth. No chaser. So, brethren, what we have been given is what prophets wanted to be given, what they wanted to be around to see and not here. We are here. So when they come for us, look, the grace that the Father give us is powerful. If we got to stand for something, don't worry. He will give you grace to stand. Okay? We understand what's coming and we understand why it's coming. And we know what it means. Messiah did too. He knew what it means. Now, later on, his disciples would learn what all of these things mean. They didn't understand it at the time, but they would understand later what all, and as he told them, you don't understand now, but you're going to understand later everything that happened here. Okay, you and I will be given and are being given an understanding that the heathen don't know and will never know because they don't belong to the Father. Okay, when you trust the Father and his word, period. I mean, right, that's it. It's not if, and, no. His word, period. Period. That's it. No, not my opinion. His word, period. Period. Okay? We know his word. We trust his word. We trust his spirit and his power and his righteousness. And we know he's going to win. We know a lot of things going to happen. Okay? We know it's got to happen. We leave ourselves in the hands of the Father, as our Messiah did. Exactly. So praise the Most High. So he said, the cup that what did he say? He said, the cup which my Father has given me. The Father gave him the cup of the fury for us. Now we rejected it, which is why we now caught that cup. But now we understand why we drank of the cup. And now we're awakened to the reasons we drank of the cup, and that awakening of the reasons we drank to the cup is now telling us it's over. It's their turn. They're getting ready to drink. And they're trying to fight it, but their willful ignorance is not going to help them. They're going to drink the cup. The Bible says they're surely going to drink. Okay, they're going to drink the cup. Praise the Most High. And he have us telling them, come out of her. My people. He's calling his people out of them because they're going to drink that cup. There's no doubt. Okay, so what we going to do is stand firm on truth. Now that Messiah has drank the cup for us, we get the benefits of that by trusting his Father and our Father in the Word. Praise the Most High. Okay, so we'll stop here at verse 11, drinking the cup. Now, the witness is coming next. Praise the Most High. All right, this is Gospel of John, chapter 18. We just finished part 1. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom, family.